YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Alpha West, man. You know what time it is. So I've been having this intuitive sequence of dreams for the past week, and yesterday was the full moon, and I just had to align my shit to bring in the information that I'm supposed to receive because the ancestors or the guides or the angels, they're always watching, right? Always ready to assist a man on his journey or being on his journey to help you improve in your consciousness, in your vibration, to reach that ultimate level of dispersion that you go back to being one with everything. So I wanted to come on here and speak about 5 different ways to help you increase your vibration or to increase in consciousness. And these are tangible goals, tangible objectives that you can do or things that you can do to increase your vibration. And today is Thursday, right? So I'm burning some lavender, so if you know about, especially the thing that I'm going to speak about last, the bonus. So in actual fact, there are 6. So we're going to start with number 5, right? So I wrote it down because sometimes I know my speeches or my speaking is just, it's all over the place, right? So I gotta just make sure that I don't lose myself in terms of what I want to speak about and what I should speak about. So how do you increase your vibration or your consciousness? Because we are all conscious beings, right? The only difference is the degree to which we are conscious, or the frequency of our vibration is actually what determines the amount of information we get to receive, the amount of information we get to share, to put out, or the type of information we can apply. Because knowledge is just the taking in of information. There's the third and fundamental step about knowledge, which is applying it. And this is what you get to know as wisdom, right? To be wise means that you're applying what you know. Even if you don't know much, but as long as you're applying what you already know, they're way better off than a person who knows better than you but is not applying. And this has been a thing that has been keeping me back. So number 5, this is all about doing less, right? And doing less is more about being present in every individual task that you are doing. And it's all about actually having a simplistic approach in life about everything, really. When you are eating food, right, make sure you're focusing on the food that you're eating. And this is where the notion of blessing your food comes from. You have to pay attention and give the energy or the intention to the food, even when you're drinking water, even when you're going for a jog, or even when you're at work. You have to be present with what you do. Because if your mind and your intentions and your actions are all over the place, then you never really get to experience anything because you are doing everything at the same time. So you're never actually reaching the potential of anything that you're doing. And this applies to no one facet of life. This applies to everything. Do less. You get what I'm saying? Have you ever heard this notion, less is more? Even when you are trying to manifest something, the more that you keep having intentions and emotion to it, and that is what you are focusing on, when you are doing too much, even when you are pursuing a person, when you are pursuing a goal, all of these things, just learn how to do less. And what I mean by this is that when you tune into yourself, you lack nothing. Just learn to center yourself and everything will come to you. I believe it's a Tao. The way of Tao, right? Tao is the way. And I read this book, Tao Te Ching. It speaks about actually doing less and gaining more. Yeah. So, but let's move on to the second point. The second point is doing some form of physical exercise, yoga, running, karate, dancing, whatever that you can be into. Because what happens is when your body is physical, there's more oxygen that flows to the rest of the body, right? The cells that have been deprived for a long time without oxygen tend to die, right? But when you exercise more, when you do some form of movement, like I just finished up like 10 minutes ago, some form of I was doing sunrise yoga, and this I love doing this, man. Like as soon as I taught myself this, because nobody teaches me actually anything apart from the ancestors that helped me bring in this information, so I can apply it to my life. It's just been that experience. So I do yoga, and I've realized when you stretch your muscles and when you are having more energy, and that's what it's about, right? When you have more energy, you can store more energy and use more energy, and it doesn't take you as much for you to reach certain level of consciousness, certain levels of vibrations, and especially for people who understand hermetic magic, you can actually use that as a form of tapping into the planets and all of that, if you have ever heard about Leamington. Yeah, yeah, yes, it helps you ward off evil forces, because you see, when you exercise, your body automatically releases endorphins, your happy hormones, serotonin, dopamine, all of this. So that ultimately means that when your body is a certain vibration, when you are more energetic, you are moving more, you even become more happier, right? So when you are in this state, no evil thought, feeling, or intention would actually harm you, because you are having that shield, that positive shield of energy that can just fight off evil forces. Okay, and third, this is where it gets really, really juicy. It's meditation, right? And I realize most people have this misconception about what meditation is. There are different, a lot of different methods of meditation. 3 years back, when I had this amazing astral projection, and I met my mother, and she told me that we all have different ways of coming in. Nobody can take you in. Nobody, you can't take another person in. I can't even teach you the meditation that I know when I go in, because going in is it's all about effort, right? But you don't really want to go in because you are a third dimensional being and you're all used to this third dimensional nonsense. So the going in actually means that you have to become lighter. This is why meditation is all about slowing down your breath, you know, going into a certain vibration. There are still these beta, theta type of brain waves that you actually have to tap into for you to go into kind of like a trance, for you to tap into that other side, and then that's a way for you to go in. You can use this obviously as a physical manifestation meditation. You can use this as a emotional meditation. You can use this as a to improve your cognitive senses meditation. You can also use it to increase your overall vibration, and expand your aura, which is my favorite, to be honest. And I remember when I learned these meditations, it was that would be a whole video on its own, and then we're gonna have like a whole thing, and I'll also upload a video of the sunrise yoga routine that I do in the morning, which I feel is just like one of those things. You have to have a ritual in the morning that actually helps you align your vibrations. Yes. Number two, which unfortunately, I'm aiming my these things to black people, and I don't know if there are some white people watching my shit, and hopefully you have some melanin or some type of way of tapping into that higher consciousness. But from what I know is this. Number two is sun gazing. You have to stay in the sun. And I've spoken about this in my previous videos, that the solar plexus can only be powered by the direct contact with the sun. And I did some research about what is it that I feel on my skin when I'm in the sun. I realized, and then this information was brought to me through the seven African laws of creation, right? And this was speaking about the sun. I'll put the name of the book just somewhere here in the clip, and then you'll be able to check it out, and also the picture of how it looks like. So this speaks that when you feel that tingling sensation or that heat on your skin, that's the rays of the sun hitting you. But when you are having melanin, right, your skin absorbs it. And this is what you want to call vitamin D, or it's later processed to become vitamin D. It's because your solar plexus actually uses this. And mind you, I've said this in my previous video, 21st of December, there's going to be a solar flare. EMP is gonna go off, and this is coming from Mother Nature. We have nothing, we can do nothing. This is why everybody is going crazy right now because of this Rona shit. There's a mandatory curfew. It's because the powers are actually having that last straw where they're still trying to keep in control. The powers that be, of course, and they're still trying to like finesse things, and they're still trying to fuck with the system that is Mother Nature's system, and you can't really fuck with it because planet Earth has its kundalini, of course. And that kundalini is rising, it's rising in energy, all the chakras are being powered, and as soon as that energy, that EMP goes off, electromagnetic pulse, nothing that is not of this planet will survive. All these synthetic things will fuck off, and maybe it will help those that are already on their journey to increase in consciousness. Because I really don't want to come back to this planet, man. I want to move on. I want to see what's next. When I die, I want to see what's next. Yeah, so, number one, and I haven't been on this journey for this thing for so long, but I can honestly say it has had the most enormous transformative effect on my life. When I chose to completely change my diet in terms of what I consume, no sugar, no artificial sugar. I mean, I love things like dates, of course, that have amazing sugar. I love bananas. I just had bananas. Man, this is a guava. Yeah, so this is the type of things that I'm into. I don't eat meat, strictly off of meat, because I realized this. As soon as I changed my diet to be more plant-based or earth-based, I feel aroused by Mother Nature. I feel aroused by, having some apple cider vinegar in the morning or at night, eating fruits. When people offer me meat, I'm like, no. I feel aroused by all of that. And I realized that before I get into the bonus is this, that right now, right, everybody's kind of wanting to be into something because their attention is gone off from the rituals that were being done on the planet before, in forms of sport, in forms of gambling, in forms of politics even. And I had to cut off all of that other nonsensical stuff. And now that I'm tapping into Mother Nature and in nature itself, I feel like I have a new sense of direction and a new sense of purpose and a new sense of alignment. And, Ludwig is just gone. Ashakati West is here now to deal with the DNA, and it's ready now. The warrior is here now. And so let's go to number 0 actually. But this is the most important thing. For those of you that know, this is a bit more advanced, but you see, right now there's something that is feeding all of us, right? All of us have so we all have this spiritual connection, all of us, umbilical cord. And this is what feeds us in terms of the subconscious mind, what allows for the information or the experience to guide us from the subconscious mind into the conscious mind. Now, that conscious mind is most obviously connected to something that's even higher. This is why consciousness is so important, because even with reality, reality cannot exist or cannot be experienced without some form of consciousness. This is why even artificial intelligence is coming in, but can only perceive and can only be fed information based on the reality how human beings that are conscious can determine it is. So if you are a spiritual being, or you want to be a spiritual being, or you are a being, right, that is more aware, more conscious of yourself, and you pull on this umbilical cord and you follow it and you see where it's plugged in, it might surprise you to where it's plugged in, right? And today is the day of Jupiter. And if you know anything about what I'm talking about, yeah, you better get on your shit ASAP and take out your plug and plug it into a more higher source. And I don't want to say a source that has an unplenishable, unfinishable, or a non-renewable source of energy. You get what I'm saying? An energy source that will be able, that is greater, bigger, larger, that has more energy than what is available right now. This is one thing I realize. Even when trying to help people, you can't be plugged into people. If you're trying to help people, you can't be plugged into people. How can two cars both, how do you get that thing that you put in the fuel with at the cars, both of them are in a car, like both, you need a pump. So you need to pump that energy from a source that can actually maintain the type of energy it requires for you to reach a higher level of consciousness. And I've mentioned Leamington because Leamington for me is such a great thing to experience, because it's all about tapping into our angelic fears and all of this. And I don't want any blood on my hands, but that's perspectively from what I've been experiencing and from what I have seen. So that's all I have for you today. Comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions whatsoever, comment down below and I'll hit you back, man. Power and prosperity to you.